Ma'am, step away from the vehicle. The words slice through the air like a blade drawn too fast. Every head in the showroom turns. The air, once filled with polite music and the hum of sales talk, drops into silence. A man in a navy shirt, Tom, the floor manager, points across the polished tiles toward a woman standing beside a black luxury coupe.
The restoration is complete.
His voice carries that familiar mix of fear and authority, the kind that hides
Look.
prejudice behind policy.
It worked!
The woman doesn't move.
Wow, look, it's driving by itself.
Beige suit, white silk blouse. Calm hands, eyes that do not blink. Tom takes another step forward. That's not your car, miss. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. She tilts her head slightly, just enough for the light to catch her face. I wasn't aware admiring my own car was against policy, she says. Her tone is soft, but it lands hard. Two sales associates whisper from behind a pillar. She probably borrowed those keys, one mutters. Another chuckles. You'd be surprised how real fake confidence looks. Their laughter echoes faintly against glass and chrome. The woman doesn't respond. She just runs a finger along the fender, her reflection rippling in the lacquered paint. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you believe in dignity and justice, hit like and subscribe. These stories spark change, and we're glad you're here. Now back to Amara's security approaches. Heavy boots, sharp walk. A crowd begins to form near the reception desk. Phones rise, recording. A salesman shuffles nervously between them. Please just hand over the keys. We'll verify ownership later. Amara Lewis exhales, slow, controlled. I already did, she replies. Her voice is a low current, steady, deliberate. The kind of calm that frightens men who expect panic. Tom folds his arms. Lady, I've been in this business 20 years. I know a scam when I see one. Her lips curve just slightly. I've been in it 25, she says. The line lands like a quiet thunderclap. Tom blinks, caught between doubt and defiance. You're saying what exactly? She glances toward the tinted office glass at the far end of the showroom, where a gold plaque reads Lewis Automotive Group, authorized dealer, then back at him. I'm saying you just accused the wrong woman of stealing her own car. A beat of silence stretches, long enough for the tension to throb in the walls. One of the associates murmurs, wait, did she just say? But Amara doesn't explain, not yet. She steps closer to the car door, her heels clicking with measured precision, like punctuation marks in a sentence only she understands. Go ahead, she says softly. Call whoever you need to. Then she opens the door, her door, and sits behind the wheel as if reclaiming gravity itself. Outside, the sky flickers with gold. Inside, a storm is about to break. The silence doesn't last long. Tom waves over another employee, Ethan, 20-something, the kind of salesman who polishes confidence more than cars. He whispers something quick. Ethan nods, grabs a tablet, and starts typing like he's chasing proof. Ma'am, Tom says louder now, glancing at the small crowd gathering by the glass wall. We've had a string of incidents lately. You understand why we can't just let anyone sit inside an active client's vehicle. Amara stays seated, calm. Her fingers rest lightly on the steering wheel. The dashboard lights glow to life. Then verify it, she says. Ethan stares at the screen, frowns, then shakes his head. Nothing comes up, no name. No match, see? Not in the system. Tom's tone shifts from cautious to certain. That's enough. Step out, please. She doesn't. She looks straight ahead at her reflection in the windshield, her voice soft. Maybe your system isn't ready for someone like me. That line lands. It ripples through the room. A woman near the reception desk mutters, "This feels wrong." Another raises her phone. Red light blinking. Recording, Ethan crosses his arms. Look, you can make this easier. Hand over the keys and we'll sort it out with corporate. Her jaw tightens slightly. You're speaking to corporate, he laughs. Right, and I'm the CEO, she turns her head. No, you're not. Before we go further, pause for a second. If this moment makes your chest tighten, it should, because you've seen it before. Maybe not in a showroom, maybe in an office or an airport gate. Bias doesn't always shout, it smiles first. Comment I've been there if you know the feeling. Now back to Amara. Tom signals security. A man in a black polo walks forward, heavy set, hand hovering near his radio. Ma'am, we need you to exit the vehicle. Amara opens the door, but only halfway. You're sure about that? Tom folds his arms again, defensive now. Yes, ma'am. You're trespassing on private property. Her voice drops lower, smoother. Private? She gestures around the glass-walled showroom. You mean the property I just acquired? Nobody speaks. Ethan's eyes dart between her and the screen. Acquired? Amara steps out slowly, closing the car door behind her with a soft click that feels louder than any shout. She reaches into her blazer pocket, pulls out her phone, and taps once. Activate branch verification, she says. A faint chime echoes through the showroom speakers. The flat screens above the cars flicker. Corporate interface loading. The scrolling banner changes color from blue to gold. Tom's smirk falters. What the hell is this? Amara looks at him, eyes steady. Audit mode. You wanted verification. Now you'll have it. The crowd leans in. Phones record. The dealership's logo flashes. Then a new name appears beneath it. Lewis Automotive Holdings. Owner, Amara Lewis. The silence returns, but this time, it belongs to her. For a heartbeat, no one moves. Only the soft buzz of the showroom's fluorescent lights hums above them. The words Owner, Amara Lewis hang across every screen. Gold text on black glass glowing like judgment itself. Tom's mouth opens, closes, then opens again. That's impossible. Ethan mutters something under his breath. That can't be real. But the panic in his eyes betrays belief. Amara doesn't say a word. She simply watches them realize. Every reflection on the showroom floor, the cars, the faces, the screens, mirrors the same thing. Shock meeting guilt. A soft voice breaks through. Ms. Lewis? It's Luis, the young technician from earlier, stepping out from behind a row of cars. His hands are still smudged with oil, his voice trembling but steady. I saw the service order this morning. That VIN belongs to you. The crowd stirs. A woman whispers she is the owner. Someone's phone camera zooms in on the glowing screen above the reception desk. The live stream count climbs, hundreds of eyes watching through glass and pixels. Tom finally finds his voice. There must be a mistake in the database. This isn't how verification works. Amara tilts her head slightly. It's exactly how it works when you own the network. The line lands like quiet thunder. Even the security guard lowers his hand from his radio. Before we continue, take a breath. If you've ever been talked down to by someone who didn't know who they were talking to, this part is for you. Power doesn't raise its voice. It reveals itself. Comment respect if you're still here. Now back to Amara. Tom's voice cracks as he tries to reclaim authority. Ms. Lewis, if you are who you say you are, then maybe we can... She cuts him off with a look. You already had your chance. Her tone isn't loud. It's surgical, precise, cutting only what needs to be cut. She turns slightly toward Luis. Thank you for speaking up. He nods nervously. People needed to hear the truth. That's how change starts, she says quietly, with one voice refusing to stay silent. The others avert their eyes. Ethan slips the tablet behind his back like evidence he wants to hide. Tom exhales hard through his nose, red-faced, staring at the logo that now condemns him. Amara walks toward the central desk, the same counter where she was accused minutes ago. Her heels click in rhythm with the hum of the air conditioning. Each step sounds like a verdict. She stops by the reception terminal, places her hand flat on the glass scanner. The screen lights up again, confirming corporate command access. Branch audit initiated, the system voice says. Pending manager removal. Tom's jaw tightens. You can't. I already did. A notification tone pings from the office behind him. His name flashes red on the employee roster. Access suspended, the crowd gasps. A woman near the doorway claps once, quietly, reverently. Others follow, hesitant at first, then louder. Amara doesn't smile. She doesn't need to. Justice here doesn't roar. It resonates. She looks around the room one final time. Let this be clear, she says. I'm not here to embarrass anyone. I'm here to remind you who you serve. Every customer who looks like me, talks like me, and still gets told you don't belong. Tom lowers his eyes. The showroom feels smaller now, like it finally recognizes who stands at its center. The applause fades into a stunned quiet. All that remains is the sound of the dealerships, ventilation, and the distant hum of traffic outside. Atlanta heat pressing against the glass walls like the world holding its breath. Tom still stands frozen, red creeping up his neck. Ethan looks down at the tablet in his hands like it's radioactive. The security guard shifts awkwardly, unsure whether to leave or salute. Amara moves closer to the center of the showroom, between two display cars, sleek, reflective, metallic shadows of her composure. Her beige suit catches the light. Her eyes hold steady. "Do you know what I see when I walk into one of my own stores?" she asks quietly. Nobody answers. I see the same faces I was told wouldn't buy from me. The same voices that once said, "You don't belong in this business," where Tom starts, "Ms. Lewis, please, I didn't mean..." She raises a hand, stopping him mid-sentence. "No, you meant every word. You just didn't expect the consequences to arrive so quickly." Her tone is razor calm. Every syllable lands like a gavel. "Before we continue, take a second. If you've ever wished for karma to come right on time, this is it. Because sometimes justice doesn't knock, it walks in wearing heels and quiet fire. Type 'right on time' in the comments if you feel that. Now back to Amara. A door opens near the back of the showroom. Nia's voice comes through the speaker on Amara's phone. "Corporate board is online, ma'am. They're monitoring live. Do you wish to proceed with disciplinary?" Amara's eyes don't leave Tom. "Proceed," Ethan blurts out. "Wait, please. I was just following instructions." "Then you should have questioned who you were serving," she replies. "Because following orders is easy when the target looks like me." The room sinks deeper into silence. Luis, the young technician, stands taller now, his courage growing by proximity. "I'd like to stay," he says suddenly, voice trembling but resolute. "Work for you, I mean. Not for them." Amara's expression softens for the first time. "Good," she says. "We'll rebuild this place with people who see beyond the suit or the skin." Tom takes one desperate step forward. "I was doing my job." Her gaze sharpens. "No, you were doing your habit." The line hits like a slap of ice water. Tom's shoulders collapse. Ethan looks away, ashamed. Amara glances around the showroom again. The luxury cars lined like trophies, the glass walls reflecting her every move. She remembers the first time she'd been thrown out of one just like this. 20 years old, trying to buy her first car with cash and being told the bank wouldn't approve someone like her. That memory flickers behind her eyes, but it doesn't sting anymore. It fuels. "Nia," she says into the phone. "Issue formal termination notices to the branch manager and assistant. Effective immediately." "Confirmed," Nia replies. "System locks in 30 seconds. Tom mutters something too low to catch. Ethan whispers a curse. The digital chime rings across the room. Once, twice, and then both of their logins flash deactivated on the office monitor. The audience, customers, staff strangers, stares in disbelief. Amara doesn't revel in it. She stands still, hands clasped in front of her, the definition of restraint. "This isn't revenge," she says finally.
"It's alignment."
"From this moment on, every dealership under my name will serve people, not prejudice." A murmur spreads through the onlookers. Approval, awe, relief. Luis whispers. She changed the whole tone of the room. No, she changed its soul. For a long moment, nobody dares to speak. The lights from the cars shimmer across the showroom floor. Bending around Amara like gravity finally remembered its source. The air smells of metal and leather, but underneath it, something new lingers, the scent of change. Tom and Ethan stand by the front desk. Stripped of their badges, their names already fading from the monitor. The security guard shifts uneasily, pretending to adjust his earpiece. Customers whisper in low tones, not gossip but apology. Amara doesn't gloat. She only exhales slowly, her gaze sweeping across the room she now truly owns. Her phone buzzes once, a message from Nia. Termination's complete. Local press already asking for comment.
Proceed?
She types a single word, no. This wasn't about headlines. It was about a mirror, held up to everyone who ever looked at her and saw anything less than capable. She turns to Luis. Make sure those customers are helped. Every one of them. He nods. Yes, ma'am. Start fresh, she adds. No one walks out of here feeling unwelcome again. Before we continue, pause right here. Because this is the part nobody films. The silence after justice. It's not about humiliation. It's about evolution. If you've ever walked away from a moment like this with your dignity intact, type still standing in the comments. Now back to Amara. She walks toward the exit. Her heels click against marble, slow, deliberate, each step echoing like punctuation. The glass doors open automatically, letting in the golden wash of late afternoon light. Outside, the street glows warm and alive. A group of bystanders who'd been watching through the window lower their phones, caught between shame and awe. One of them, an older black woman in a red scarf, meets Amara's eyes and nods once. Small, knowing, proud. Amara nods back. No words needed. A memory flashes. 15 years ago, she'd been in that same position, watching another woman get dismissed at a counter. She remembered wanting to speak, but staying silent. Today felt like redemption for both of them. Louise jogs after her, hesitant. "Ms. Lewis, what happens now?" She smiles faintly. "Now? We fix the story they tell about us." He looks puzzled. "How?" "By writing it ourselves," she says. A black sedan pulls up to the curb. Her driver steps out, opening the door, but she pauses before getting in. Her gaze drifts back toward the glass facade, the dealership now bathed in light, her name glowing across every screen inside. Behind the glass, she sees the staff slowly regrouping, the young technician speaking to a customer, the receptionist wiping her tears. The energy is different now, cleaner, truer. Amara takes a slow breath. "People think power is loud," she murmurs. "It's not. It's steady." The driver waits silently. She finally gets in, smoothing her sleeve as the car door shuts with a soft thud. As the sedan glides away from the curb, her reflection blends into the passing skyline. A city of glass and ambition. Somewhere in that reflection, the faint outline of the showroom remains, and with it, a promise kept. In the rearview mirror, Atlanta's sun burns low and defiant. Her phone lights up again, a notification from corporate. "ATL 07 branch status realigned." Amara smiles. Not pride, peace, because this wasn't about victory. It was about returning what was hers all along. The next morning, the city wakes up differently. The incident has already found its way online, edited, captioned, reposted. A video barely 9 minutes long. Black CEO accused of stealing her own car. You won't believe what happened next. Millions of views overnight. Hundreds of comments, outrage, admiration, disbelief. Some defend, some deny, but most just sit stunned, watching dignity in real time. Amara doesn't read them. She's up before dawn, standing by the floor-to-ceiling window of her penthouse overlooking downtown Atlanta. The skyline glows faintly, blurred by morning fog. She sips black coffee, silent. The world's noise is out there. Her calm is in here. Behind her, the TV runs on mute, replaying footage from the dealership. The headlines scroll across the bottom. Lewis Automotive responds to viral confrontation. Before we continue, let's slow down. Because this is where the story stops being about a single dealership and becomes about a culture. Ever noticed how a single act of restraint can echo louder than outrage? If you believe composure is power, drop "Grace wins" in the comments. Now back to Amara. Nia walks in, tablet in hand. Press wants a statement. CNN, Essence, Business Daily, all of them. Amara doesn't turn around. What's the tone? Mixed, Nia says. Some think you staged it. Others call you a symbol. Amara smiles faintly at her reflection. Symbols don't change anything. Systems do, Nia nods. Then maybe it's time we build one that works. They stand there for a moment, quiet. The morning sun finally breaks through the fog, scattering gold across the glass. It catches the edge of Amara's blazer, the same one she wore yesterday. Still spotless. Her phone buzzes again. A message from Luis. A photo of the dealership staff. New faces, smiling, standing in front of a banner that reads, "Reopening under new leadership." His caption, "We're starting fresh. Thank you for showing us how." Amara stares at it for a long moment, her chest tightening in a way that isn't pain. It's release. Cut to a conference room later that day. Amara stands at the head of a long glass table. The board of directors listens in silence. Charts, contracts, balance sheets, all meaningless compared to the conviction in her voice. "I'm done letting our brand be a logo," she says. "From this point forward, it's a standard." A pause. Then she continues. "Every manager under my name will go through bias training. Not the performative kind, the real kind. I want every customer to walk in and feel like they belong before they even speak." One board member hesitates. "That could be expensive." She meets his eyes. So is ignorance. The room falls quiet. Then one by one, heads nod. Later, as she walks down the marble corridor, her heels echo again. The same sound as in that showroom, but softer now. Triumphant, not defensive. In her mind, she hears her younger self, the 20-year-old version who once stood outside a dealership, holding rejection like a scar. "You did it," that younger voice whispers. Amara doesn't smile. She just exhales, a breath years in the making. Outside, sunlight spills across the floor. Her reflection walks beside her, older, stronger, unbothered. Power isn't about owning buildings. It's about reshaping the rooms where injustice once stood. And today, every room with her name on it just got rearranged. By the end of the week, her face is everywhere. Screens in airport lounges, phone feeds, talk shows, podcasts. Clips spliced with slow music. Captions shouting, "The calmest CEO in America." Hashtags bloom like wildfires. Shamara Lewis, Grace Under Fire. She owned it. But not every echo carries admiration. A panel on a business network debates her actions. One anchor smirks. She could have de-escalated. It's just a misunderstanding. Another responds. You call accusing someone of stealing their own car a misunderstanding? The clip cuts mid-argument, another upload, another million views. Amara watches none of it. She's on a quiet flight to Chicago, seat by the window, documents open on her tablet. While the internet argues, she builds. Across the aisle, a man whispers to his wife. That's her, the CEO from the video. The wife glances, then nods. She doesn't look angry. No, he says softly. She looks free. Before we continue, think about that word, free. Not from struggle, but from needing to prove anything anymore. If you've ever turned judgment into fuel, comments still rising. Now, back to Amara. The plane lands at O'Hare under gray skies. Rain streaks down the windows, streaks of silver over concrete. Her driver waits with an umbrella, but she waves it off. She likes the rain. It hides the whispers. At the downtown office, her team stands waiting. Nia, Luis, and a few new hires flown in from different branches. On the conference screen behind them, a paused frame of the viral video glows. A frozen moment of her standing in that showroom, calm amid chaos. Nia begins. We can't contain it. Every outlet wants exclusives. Some want to turn it into a documentary. Amara sets her bag down. Then we set the tone. Louise frowns. You mean do our own version? She nods. If they're going to tell my story, they'll tell the truth, not the spectacle. Cut to later that afternoon. A recording studio. Minimalist white walls, one chair, one camera. Amara sits facing the lens, no script, no crew beyond Nia. She begins quietly. I didn't plan to become a symbol. I was just tired of being mistaken. A pause. Tired of watching dignity debated like a headline. Her voice never rises. It doesn't need to. The camera loves honesty more than performance. She continues. When you've been underestimated long enough, people think your calm is submission. It's not. It's calculation. It's clarity. She leans forward slightly. And if my silence looked powerful, it's because peace is what power looks like before it acts. Nia swallows hard behind the lens. She knows this isn't PR, it's testimony. Hours later, the finished clip goes live. No soundtrack, no dramatic cuts. Just her words. Within hours, it eclipses the old footage. The algorithm bends to truth. Comments flood in. This is how leadership sounds. No shouting, no fear. Just presence. Louise texts her one line. They're finally seeing what we saw. Amara reads it, then turns off her phone. Outside, Chicago's lights shimmer through the rain. She watches her reflection in the window. Steady, unshaken. The world is still loud, but now it's repeating her rhythm. Night settles over Chicago like a slow inhale. Rain has turned the streets into mirrors, each puddle a flicker of neon and memory. Amara stands at the window of her hotel suite, phone silent, mind loud. The day's emails, interviews, offers on all waiting. But her thoughts drift backward, to a sound she hasn't heard in years. The slam of a showroom door. The words that once clung to her like static. You don't belong here. She exhales, the glass fogging faintly in front of her. Sometimes success doesn't erase the memory, it reframes it. Cut to flashback Atlanta 15 years ago. A much younger Amara, no title, no shield, standing in a dealership lobby. Her credit card declined because the clerk didn't trust it. Her check needed verification. And when she asked for the manager, He never came out. She remembers how small that moment felt, how humiliating. The same heat rising in her chest then is the same one that drove her company's rise later. She'd walked to her car that night, an old silver sedan, and whispered to herself, "One day they'll have to hand me the keys. Before we continue, breathe this part in. Because memory isn't pain, it's proof." If you've ever turned a wound into direction, drop fuel, not fear, in the comments. Now back to Amara. Back in the present, her reflection merges with the city lights. Her phone buzzes softly, a message from an unknown number. "Ms. Lewis, I was one of the women who walked out of your dealership that day. I came back today. Your staff treated me like royalty. Thank you." She stares at the text, her chest tightening. Not pride. Not even relief. Something quieter. Completion. She types back, "You were always royalty. They just didn't see it yet." The reply comes seconds later. Now they do. A faint smile flickers across her face. Nia calls. "Amara, are you still up?" "I am. There's talk of inviting you to the Diversity in Business Summit next month. Keynote speaker." Amara chuckles softly. Irony's got a sense of humor. Nia laughs. "So should I confirm?" Amara looks out the window again at her own reflection, framed by the lights of a city that once ignored women like her. "Confirm," she says finally. "But tell them I'm not coming to inspire. I'm coming to remind." Remind who? Everyone who ever looked past us. The call ends. Silence again, except for the rain ticking softly against the window. Amara closes her eyes. In her mind, the dealership plays again. Tom's voice, Ethan's disbelief, Luis's courage. But this time she isn't reliving it. She's mastering it. Justice didn't rewrite her past. It harmonized it. She whispers to herself, "You didn't break me. You built me." Outside, lightning flashes once on, illuminating her reflection. Calm, composed, complete. The past has stopped chasing her. Now it follows her lead. The ballroom glows like a sunrise trapped in glass. Rows of white chairs fill the floor. Cameras blink like watchful eyes. A banner stretches across the back wall. Diversity in Business Summit 2025, Redefining Power. Amara stands behind the curtain, quiet, steady. Her beige suit again. Not armor, statement. In the audience, executives, founders, press. The same faces that once dismissed her emails, ignored her proposals, questioned her leadership. Now they wait for her words. Nia straightens Amara's lapel. "You ready?" "I was born ready," Amara says softly. "They just weren't ready to see it." The announcer's voice rolls through the room. "Please welcome CEO of Lewis Automotive Holdings, Ms. Amara Lewis." Applause swells, flashes burst. She walks out under the lights, deliberate and composed, like she's carrying gravity itself. "Thank you," she begins, her voice low but clear. "I was told once that representation was a goal. I've learned it's a responsibility. Silence stretches, a respectful kind. Not the silence of judgment this time, but of listening. I didn't come here to be celebrated," she continues. "I came here to dismantle the polite ways we still keep people out. The smile before the no, the compliment before the exclusion." Every camera leans in closer. Before we go further, take this moment in. Because this is the part where the same voice that was doubted becomes doctrine. If you believe in changing rooms by simply standing in them, drop "presence is power" in the comments. Now back to Amara. She paces slowly across the stage. "When I was younger," she says, "I thought success would silence discrimination. It didn't. It just gave me a louder microphone." A ripple of knowing laughter and sighs moves through the crowd. She smiles faintly, "And I intend to use it." Behind her, a massive screen lights up. Images of the dealership, the viral video, the new staff smiling. Her voice continues, steady and deliberate. "This isn't about revenge. It's about renovation. We're rebuilding the architecture of respect. One workplace, one policy, one attitude at a time." Her tone sharpens. Not angry, just crystalline. If you manage people, manage your biases first. If you lead, lead with empathy, not ego. And if you see injustice, don't wait for the victim to prove their worth. Stop it. The audience rises slowly, applause building from a hum to a wave. It's not performative. It's recognition. Amara stands still, letting it wash over her but not through her. Because this applause isn't for victory, it's for visibility. As the clapping fades, she closes with one line. Never mistake calm for weakness. Sometimes silence is just strategy, waiting for the right stage. The audience explodes again. Cameras flash like lightning. Nia, standing off stage, wipes a tear she didn't expect. Amara steps back from the podium, a small nod, her composure unbroken. In her eyes, no pride, no revenge. Just purpose. Outside the ballroom, a poster bears her image and one quote beneath it. Power doesn't shout. It stands still until the world listens. The applause fades. The lights dim. But the echo of her final words, power doesn't shout, still hums in the air like a note that refuses to end. Backstage, Amara removes her mic, exhales. The sound feels like release. Nia rushes in, tablet in hand, eyes bright. Amara, it's everywhere already, and every outlet, every feed. They're quoting you. Amara smiles faintly, taking a bottle of water. Then I hope they quote the right parts. Luis joins them, his suit slightly wrinkled, his grin sincere. That line about the smile before the no, that hit them hard. Good, Amara says softly. Politeness has hidden too many closed doors. She walks into the quiet lounge behind the stage. Velvet chairs, low lighting, the scent of fresh coffee and camera heat. In one corner, an older woman stands waiting, leaning slightly on a cane. Her skin the same shade as Amara's, her eyes sharper than any spotlight. Ms. Lewis, she says gently. I'm Clara Daniels, retired. Used to work in automotive sales back in the 80s. Amara smiles, shaking her hand. Then you opened the door I just walked through. Clara chuckles. Baby, I tried. They slammed it on me so many times I built my own side entrance. They sit. Silence fills the space and warm, not heavy. Clara studies her. You made us proud up there. But tell me, do they really change when the cameras go off? Amara pauses. Some do. The smart ones, the rest, they'll learn when the world stops excusing them. Clara nods slowly. You carry that grace like it's armor. It is, Amara says. Because anger makes headlines, but grace builds legacies. Before we continue, take a breath, because this, right here, is what growth sounds like when it's spoken between generations. If you've ever had someone's fight pave your way, drop I remember in the comments. Now back to Amara. Clara leans back, smiling. You know, when I started, they made me park customer cars instead of selling them. Amara listens, eyes soft. And yet you stayed. Someone had to, Clara says. So the next girl wouldn't have to park anything but her own dreams. They both laugh, quiet and understanding. Nia peeks in. Amara, press is waiting outside if you're ready. Amara glances at Clara. Do you mind walking out with me? Wouldn't miss it, the older woman replies. Outside the lounge, cameras flash again, but this time Amara isn't alone. She steps beside Clara, 2 generations of black women who refused erasure, and faces the crowd. A reporter calls out, Ms. Lewis, do you see yourself as a symbol of change? Amara exchanges a glance with Clara, then answers, No, I'm the result of it. Another voice shouts, What's next for you? She smiles, serene. Making sure no one like her. She gestures toward Clara. Has to fight alone again. The cameras click furiously. Clara squeezes her hand, whispering, That's how you turn pain into policy. Amara nods. And policy into progress. They stand there for a moment, 2 women, same light, same lineage, while the world documents something it still doesn't fully understand. The elegance of justice without vengeance. 2 weeks later, Amara is back in Atlanta. The city hums softer this time, not as an obstacle but as a witness. Her car glides through the same streets where everything began. The polished avenues, the glass towers, the dealerships lined like cathedrals of ego and chrome. The driver turns to her. Ms. Lewis, straight to headquarters? She shakes her head. No. One stop first. The car slows outside a familiar building in Lewis Automotive ATL-07, the same showroom where the confrontation ignited, the same marble floors, the same scent of fresh leather and metal polish. But something's different now. The sign out front bears her name. Bold, gold, unapologetic. Inside, the space hums with calm efficiency. No raised voices, no condescension, just professionalism. Louise spots her through the glass and rushes forward, smiling wide. Ms. Lewis, you didn't tell us you were coming. I wanted to see it the way customers do, she says. Before we continue, pause here. Because this is what victory quietly looks like. Not headlines, not speeches, but systems repaired. If you believe real change starts in the same place you were once rejected, drop full circle in the comments. Now, back to Amara. Luis leads her through the floor. The same car, the black coupe, gleams under the showroom lights. Beside it, a new sign reads, "This vehicle was once mistaken for stolen. Today it represents ownership, dignity, and progress." Amara runs her fingers across the hood. The same gesture she made that first day, only now, no one dares question the touch. A customer, a young black woman in jeans and a university sweatshirt, approaches hesitantly. "Are you her?" Amara smiles. "Just someone making sure you get treated right." The girl laughs nervously. "You already did. They offered me coffee before I even sat down." Amara glances at Luis. He grins, a little embarrassed. "We learned." She steps toward the center of the room. It's quieter here now. Not the tense silence from before, but a settled one. Like peace has moved in and unpacked its bags. Her mind drifts to Tom, Ethan, and every face that once looked at her like an exception. She doesn't feel anger anymore. Just distance, growth. Her phone buzzes. Nia again. Corporate reports show ATL07 ranked #1 in customer satisfaction this quarter. "You did it," Amara types back. "We did." She turns once more to the glass wall, the same view where, not long ago, she'd been humiliated in full daylight. Now it's her reflection that commands the space. She sees the staff laughing, helping customers, moving with the confidence of people who understand inclusion isn't charity. It's culture. Luis walks up beside her. "I still can't believe it," he says. "This place used to feel cold. Now it feels alive." Amara nods. That's what happens when people start to see instead of assume. Outside, the afternoon sun hits the logo just right, her name gleaming like justice engraved in gold. She whispers to herself, "Same room, different story," and for the first time the memory doesn't hurt. It heals. Morning light spills through the wide windows of Amara's office, the kind of light that carries both history and promise. The skyline hums beneath her, glass towers catching the dawn. Her desk is minimal. A single laptop, a photo of her parents, a framed quote that reads, "Dignity is the quietest form of dominance." She sits, reviewing the quarterly reports. Profits rise, turnover drops. But the numbers that matter most are the ones on her screen's final slide. Employee Respect Index 98%. She smiles. This isn't just a company now. It's a classroom for grace. Nia walks in with 2 coffees. "Big day," she says. Amara looks up. Every day's big when it starts with peace. They both laugh softly, a sound that feels earned. Cut to a corporate training session downstairs. New hires sit in rows watching footage of a young technician, Luis, explaining how to de-escalate bias on the showroom floor. Behind him, a massive poster shows Amara standing beside that black coupe. Captioned, "The moment we learned who she was and who we could be." Luis ends the session with one line. "She didn't fire us to shame us. She changed us to remind us." The room erupts in quiet applause. Upstairs, Amara watches from the balcony, unseen. She doesn't need to be seen anymore. The work speaks louder now. Before we continue, pause right here, because this is where the story stops being hers and becomes ours. If you believe real leadership leaves a light on for others, drop the torch continues in the comments. Now back to Amara. Later that afternoon, she drives alone. Same car, same city, but everything feels different, like the world has finally adjusted its mirrors. She passes the old neighborhoods she used to walk through as a dreamer, the library where she studied at night, the bus stop where she first drafted her business plan on a folded napkin. She parks at a small community center painted in blues and yellows. Kids run outside laughing. A mural on the wall reads, "Dream without permission." Amara steps inside, greeted by a young volunteer. "Ms. Lewis, we didn't expect you today." "I don't schedule gratitude," she says with a smile. In the corner, a teenage girl works on a model car, tinkering with tiny tools. Amara kneels beside her. "What's that?" "Prototype," the girl says shyly. "It's gonna run on solar panels." "I want to build cars one day." Amara's eyes warm. "Then you will. And you won't need anyone's approval but your own." The girl looks up. "Like you?" Amara pauses. "No," she says softly. "Better." Outside, as the sun dips low, she stands by her car, the same one that started everything. The wind hums against the glass, carrying faint laughter from inside. She looks up at the sky, wide, gold, forgiving. Her reflection glints off the car's surface. Calm, proud, unbroken. Voiceover, low and steady. They said justice needed noise. I learned it just needed time. Because truth doesn't rush, it arrives. She opens the door, slides behind the wheel. As the engine hums to life, the camera pulls back. The city lights blooming behind her, her legacy expanding forward. The screen fades to black. Text appears, white on silence. Respect isn't granted. It's taught. Based on a true kind of story. Music swells, slow, orchestral, triumphant.